What's up, everybody? How you doing today? What's going on, Jazmeal, Zenray? Zenrai, so, today we're actually, I'll do one wing. I'm gonna do one wing, but today we're actually building the box because I don't really have anything ruined and I don't have anything optimized. So today's not gonna be an action stream, I'll warn you about that now. I'll do one wing just because we get to do one wing and use a little ragdoll. But today is actually going to be what I call road mapping. So this is like a common account service I do, but today we're going to be doing it for my own account instead. Let's see here. So the thing is, because nothing in my box is actually optimized, every time I have, let's see, we got the Raccoony. He has no detonate here, right? But is she triple revenge? No, she's not on revenge. Okay. This is the problem. Like, I can't counter anything. Ban the Chung, and he has no disabling, right? So we do this, and then, yeah. How do I have Annabelle ruined? Well, that's exactly what I was just saying. Nothing is properly ruined yet, but this is what Annabelle's got, but this is not like a proper build. So that's my real issue, is I have to pick which monsters I'm going to use, and then I have to run builds and get them properly speed-tuned. So I just threw some random stuff on for testing purposes. Man, see, Volantos never revenges anymore. I don't even know if he's going to be in my rotation here, to be honest. Well, that was, GG. Actually, you know what? I'm going to wind up with Raccoony Kinky. That might be enough here. Maybe she can resist the bomb. Maybe not. Of course he procs again. Why wouldn't he? Bro, congrats on the Vanessa, man. What is this? Everything procking. That was a sack. That was actually a legit, that was a serious sack. Freaking John procced every turn. Vertihile proc. I don't know how impactful the Vertihile proc was, but the more proc was huge. But yeah, that's the thing. I mean, just playing with such a small box with nothing actually speed tuned is kind of an issue. Oh, what up, Zen? Dion, how you doing, man? Dude, you made C2. Huge congrats, man. That's awesome. That's seriously awesome. So this Ethna's in like a weird build. It's just me screwing around. All of this stuff is like weird, kind of screwing around builds. Alright, let's do this. You know what? I will show you. I will show that one. That was a cool replay. That was unfortunate. All right. Oh, nice sleep. One more? That's okay. Saved me a lot of dots right there. You should have tried to sleep the Nikki. Oh, that's a big proc. That's a really big proc. Yeah, he gets... Okay, I guess he just got bored. That was weird. Alright guys, I am going to show you one fun replay and then we're going to start to, I think, actually pick the box. So, this is a replay that Lavka sent earlier, but this is just a cool replay. This is fun to watch. It's also funny that I have most of the same, it's also kind of funny, I have most of the same LDs as him. Craig is the only one I don't have here. By the way, I want to point out, C2, 10 LD5s in this C2 match. Well, LD4. Okay. 9 LD5s and an LD4 in this C2 match. 9 LD5s and an LD4. So, Volantis actually getting a revenge. Half a miracle these days. But not enough to cut. Actually, he got 3 revenges to be fair. But just a glance, he did nothing there. Everything goes down, but the fact that the Ziana dismounts, that's the entire game right there. So, dead Ziana, Beelzebub reviving exactly the right monster. This is so insane, man. By the way, Lavka, I didn't notice this the first time, but you actually should have killed the Robo, not the Nephthys, because Nephthys had already gone S3. If you kill the Robo, I think it's an even easier comeback. With the Beelzebub, that is. Kill the Robo with Beelzebub. But yeah, that was disgusting, man. That was disgusting. Alright, guys. So, I actually set this up before stream. Let me... You know what? Can I move this? I think I can move this over here, but it might kill my neck if I do this. Yeah, no, that's going to kill my neck if I do that. Okay, so we'll have to swap back and forth between windows. Make sure I didn't mess up the view. Yeah, that's a little messed up right now. There we go. All right. So what we're going to be doing today, for those of you who have never seen, I've only done the full, I think, like road mapping process on stream a couple of times. So if you've never done an account service with me, or if you've never seen me do the roadmaps, what we're going to be doing today is actually building the roadmap for my account. So this was last season's roadmap. We're going to get rid of all of this. And then there's a couple of formulas in here that we're just going to copy down to make sure that everything is how it should be. Let's see. All of these, this all probably needs to be, yeah, so this will be like this. Can you guys see? Yeah, you can see all of that. So we're going to reset basically our roadmap over here. Now, we're not going to be in the spreadsheet the whole day. We're actually starting in the game. So I'm going to take you through the whole process of how I do my RTA box each season. By the way, thank you, Wojo and Bad Wizard. Man, you have no... Well, you guys probably do know exactly how happy I was. I'm still in shock, man. To get the one monster that I truly, truly needed. Like, it's insane. Absolutely insane. Alright, so we know we're playing a Ragdoll core. Because I got the Ragdoll, I actually am going to go full-on try-hard this season. We'll see if I'm good enough or not. I don't know if I am. But I haven't done a real try-hard season in a while. I've done like me being stubborn and shit for a while. So I'm going full try-hard. That means I'm building pivots. I'm going to build the Swift. I'm going to build Oliver. I'm going to build everything I need to do in order to try my best to actually see how far I can go. So that means we're building a bi-directional box, a high-low box, whatever you want to say. Which means we're going to need a mixture of turn 1 and turn 2 units. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to look at every monster in my box, and I'm going to try and narrow this list down to 40 to 50 monsters. I can actually rune more than that, but I can't remember. Even at 40 monsters, I have issues with just like forgetting everything that can be drafted and what's ruined and stuff like that. I mean, it gets hard the bigger your box is. So I do think that this guy has a place. In early testing, he seemed really OP. And then when I started testing him with the Ragdoll, he was kind of iffy. I feel like he might have a place. This guy is really interesting, but I don't think he'll have a place. Too many water units, just everything is food to Oliver, which is challenging. But I think this guy does have a place once people overextend themselves a little bit on fire. So we're going to take him as a possibility. Manon is just trash post-nerf. Alexander, I got Ragdoll 3 days ago. I also got Amber this week. So it's been a crazy 2 weeks for me. I got all 3 new units. I got Amber and I got Ragdoll. So I completed my entire Elemental Pokédex and I got Ragdoll. And while I probably am not going to go exactly free to play, I can put my Wailing Days behind me. I got everything, man. I got everything. So... I didn't get everything. I mean, obviously, there's still T and Lang. There's tons of good LDs, but yeah. I don't feel that... Here, let me show you guys something. I moved the Summoning Henge, and I don't know what I have. There you go. I have Legendary Pieces. I have 52 Scrolls. When have you ever seen me with Scrolls on my account? But what am I summoning for now? So... Whoops, there we go. Actually, you know what we should do? We should start with whatever LDs, because that's going to determine the box size. Alright, so I don't think I'm going to run an Escher, because I really do like the 3 Swift units I tend to run are Sonya, Sekhmet, and Teshar. I think Teshar is really good. Bro, I mean, grats on the Lucifer. Lucifer is still, he's not Ragdoll tier. There's very little that's Ragdoll tier, but Lucifer is still a legitimately fun monster, man. That's like amazing arena offense, viable for arena defense, amazing PvE unit. That's a good pull. That's a good pull, man. I'm happy for you. Francis, so yeah, I mean, this is my first stab ever at Ragdoll. Even with the account services I've done, I don't actually remember ever having done anything on a Ragdoll account, like one time maybe. So it's going to be a learning experience. I would expect that I'm going to probably not have the best box out of the gate, but we're starting early season, so I'll build the box now, I'll try it for a few weeks, and then we'll make adjustments. Well, my preference will always be Ruser. I am going to build some turn 1 pivots, and I will likely work off of a speed lead open so I can pivot. I've never finished G3. My best finish was G2. That was my last... Well, I finished G2 a bunch of times, but my best finish was ranked 342. That was my last tryhard season. That was basically playing turn 1 CC the whole season. I sat in the top 100 to 200 range most of the season and then fell off at the end of the season, which is normal. And then when I didn't make it, I had very little fun that season. I hate playing turn 1. I hate playing CC. It's not fun for me. So when I didn't make it, I was like, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just going to go play a style that's fun for me. And so my rank dropped because I haven't been playing turn 1. So last 3 seasons, I think I was G1, C3, C3. One of those seasons, the G1 season, I actually decayed out because I didn't play the last 2 weeks. And then one of the C3s, I tried to do a push on the final day. And then one season was like last season was legit. Like I actually built a box, but I built a full turn 2 box. I didn't even rune Oliver. I had 1 speed lead ruined and I couldn't pull it off. I finished like rank, I don't even know what I finished. Rank 3080 or something, like just on the edge. 3079, there you go. But yeah, I mean, I had pretty much retired mentally from RTA unless I pulled a viable turn 2 unit because I just don't enjoy turn 1. But with the Ragdoll, I am actually re-energized, revitalized, and I'm going to go full tryhard this season. So we'll see. That doesn't mean I could wind up finishing C3 again for all I know. I shouldn't, but I could. But I am going to go full tryhard this season. So I think he's got a spot. I know Nana's got a spot. I know Shizuka's got a spot. And then, like I said, I actually should start with the LDs because that's going to determine kind of how many spots I have. Yeah, Miles will definitely have a spot. Miles will be there for sure. Escher, I don't think so. I think there's better Swift options than Escher. And my Swift is fast, but it's not deep. Volantis I'm really on the fence with because he just really doesn't effectively cut anymore. I get it, Wojo. I really do get it. Mario, I mean, it's a tough loss, but, you know, just hats off to GPY. They outplayed us. And they had a better 5-star defense. They had better communication. They had a really good macro. So I can deal with losing when it's legit. I hate losing to RNG. But that wasn't RNG. It was a clean win. So just hats off to them, man. They earned it. I got nothing else to say on that. It sucks. But, you know, hats off to them. 17, Alexander. I pulled Ziana, Sylvia, and Ragdoll recently. I mean, top 4 finish is a letdown, but like I said, I mean, it was legit. They earned it, so I got nothing to say on that. So, Michael, my win rate this season was only 95%. There's a caveat with that, which is the first 2 months I was in the middle of a move and getting married, so I was supposed to be on the bench, and because we were recruiting, we didn't have a lot of room on the bench. So I wound up just kind of spamming my attacks whenever I could, and there was a lot of rushed attacks in there. Over the last month, I was 99%. Like once I started to get into tournament mode and got try hard, I was 99. But my overall season was only 95. Alright, I know I missed a couple of things as I was going through, so let me come back here one more time. Obviously no Shren. Obviously never Laura, worst LD5 in the game. Some LD4s. Light Robo, no. Light Chun-Li, no. All the LD4 stuff, no. Tableau, probably not, but we'll pull him out for now. Molly, probably not, but we'll take her out for now. I think Molly's nerf, Molly's nerf really crushed her, but maybe with Ragoll, I don't know. I don't think Molly. I think Molly was overrated before her nerf. Oh, thanks. Thank you, sir. Yeah, it was 90, but it doesn't matter. I mean, so 99%, that's over 10 sieges. So it was 99 and 1. Or was it over 8? Maybe it was 79 and 1. Yeah, I think it was 79 and 1 to finish out, something like that. Well, Joe, I mean, bro, I completely understand the frustration. I really do. I mean, I know it doesn't look like it because of the box I've got, but then I'm in for a lot more than 6K. And there are times where it's so frustrating. So all I can say, man, is when that spark comes up and you hit the monster you're looking for, it revitalizes you. Bro, grats on the Destiny, man. Huge grats on the Destiny. Alright, I think that's it for light monsters, right? Let me take a look at my list. So we have Julianne, Volantis, Lima, Pontos, Laura. And then obviously we're not... So Julianne, Lima, Volantis, Pontos. Yeah, so of those 4. And then from the dark monsters, if we look at the LD5s, Beelzebub, Cadiz, and Nikki all have a spot. So does Ziana and Ritsu, I think. Obviously Ragdoll and Kraka. Wunsa, I've always said Triton is better than Wunsa. Wunsa really is trash. No, that's not true. Wunsa's not trash, but when an elemental is better than an LD5, there's no point in that monster. So Wunsa definitely will not be there. Van Cliff is actually trash, so Van Cliff will not be there. Ongi Uki is worse than trash since his nerf. He definitely will not be there. He's still usable, but only in very specific set cleaves, and none of those are really anything that I would be able to pivot into. Sylvia is amazing. That's the LD I pulled right before Ragdoll, but that's just Siege, obviously. And then we have Cadiz. So we're going full-on LD abuse. Dark Robo is very good, but I don't know that there's going to be enough room for Dark Robo, because my goal is still to be playing a bruiser team. I just need pivots. And so I don't see that I'm going to have room for Dark Robo. Honestly, I really doubt that Tableau is going to keep a spot either, but just because of the speed lead, I put him there. But I think Pontos, the Pontos probably will not. Actually, honestly, I don't see Pontos keeping a spot either. Because you can't first pick Pontos. And he's mostly just good in cleaves. We'll see. We'll see. Pontos, Tableau are kind of iffy for me at the moment. These three are still iffy. Magnum is more and more niche because you see less Japanese cleave style offenses, but Magnum is still the single best counter in the game to anything Lucian. Not anything. There's a few Lucian offenses that Magnum cannot counter, but Magnum still has a teeny tiny role in RTA. You might draft him once every 500 wings, but the one time you draft him, he's a free win. The problem is you would only draft him if you're not confident in your speed, or if you're playing... there's like situations, I guess, where you can get caught without a speed lead, and then Magnum, you can play him as a force ban, but it's just so rare. The thing with that is, though, the runes that he's using literally are... like, you're just putting him on like Fat Lucian runes, but with will and some accuracy. And none of these runes, no other monster cares about any of these runes. So I keep him outside my box, like down here, so he's not favorited, he's not taking a spot, he's just outside the box, basically. So he still deserves to be runed, only for that reason. If he needed runes that anyone else needed, I would never do it. Alright, let's start taking a look here at water. So we've got 3 water units out so far. More in Hagang, probably. How to use Julien. So Julien is honestly the most underrated LD5 in the game. Before I got Ragoll, he was my favorite monster. He may still actually be my favorite monster. Ragoll was my most needed. By far, Ragoll was my most needed, but Julien may still be my favorite to use. I'll actually go ahead and show you guys a good example. RTA, it's a little bit trickier. I don't know if I have any replays in RTA. Let me see if I have any replays from like when I was messing around in RTA. Maybe I have one. Yeah, here you go. This one was super free. So basically the key with Julien is because he can never die and he continues to scale on damage, you just want to keep him with like a support. So if you can ever create a situation where you get Julien and Riley through, it's like a free win unless the opponent has CC. So he only works in bruiser matches. If the opponent can CC you, then you're in trouble. But like in this draft, this is like a legitimate 95% plus win rate for me. They could have sniped Ethna twice at the start, and as long as I have the Julien Riley here, I've already won. There's like just no chance. Short of him taking like 10 million procs or hitting like I don't even know. I don't know how I could have lost this match. So Julien does absolute insane amounts of damage, and he can't die. And if you can get him paired with a Riley, and you can make sure it's into a team that doesn't have Oblivion, doesn't have dots, and doesn't have CC, then it's just like a free win. He's also one of the best siege offense monsters in the game. Anytime you can create a tunnel into him, we don't really have. We don't have ISGW going right now, so I can't really show it. But anytime you can, so okay, what's a good example? A good example would be like Miles, right? So Ophelia Miles X, that's a team that's designed to let Miles just keep building up damage, right? So if like Luis Ophelia Miles or Ophelia Miles, any other kind of support that's meant to like drive you into attacking Ophelia while the Miles just keeps hammering away on you, right? So for that type of situation, you can go double win Julien, and the Miles just keeps hitting Julien and it literally does nothing. So I would use like Luis, Riley, Julien in that situation, and then just basically kill them on raw damage. So my RTA Julien is going to be much faster, but this is like my siege offense Julien. RTA Julien is similar stats, just faster and on Nemesis. I do prefer Destroy for Siege, and I prefer Nemesis for RTA. Is Leo Lucifer good in RTA? So Chiopenkin, what you want to do, yes, it is very good in RTA. And then what you want to actually do is you come in here to replay, and you search by monster, and then you search for Lucifer. And then you just start watching replays to see how he's paired up. I mean, this is going to be like the most common type of team, but to learn which pivots you want to have and to learn the speed tuning that you want to have, you basically just watch the replays and you learn how to play, because it's a very set comp. There's not a lot of variations of it, but there are some, and that's how you can learn how to play with a certain monster. But Leo Lucifer is still generally, with decent runes, it's still generally good for C3 to G1. Like, it struggles to get past G1, but it's still usually good to C3, G1. I'll do one wing with the Ragdoll, then we're going to go back to organizing the box, because nothing is actually runed. So this is like really not super legitimate demonstration here. It's just like random runes thrown onto stuff. So how did we lose in Siege? So Ronin, Siege maps can look misleading. What you have to look at also is how many attacks there are. So we were actually losing for much of the Siege. We got off to a really bad start. And then we started to make a nice comeback. But we couldn't quite close the gap all the way. But it wasn't a matter of time. It was just a matter of we got off to a bad start, and then we couldn't come back from the bad start. How do I use Cadiz? I don't entirely know yet. I've really never used Cadiz because he just didn't fit into any, like... I mean, he's really hard to use in a non-Bruiser team. And Bruiser teams have been really hard to use for the last 5-6 seasons because of Oliver. What does this thing do? So he hits hard with attack power and brand. Okay. That seems fine. Does he ban Shizuka? It doesn't really matter if he bans Shizuka or not, right? I just take out the Robo, take out the CC. What up, Stipend? How you doing, bro? What up, Fat? What's going on, man? Yeah, man, I'm telling you, Ragdoll was what I needed. This is like, and I know it's C3, but this is still Guardian level, and it's just randomly thrown on runes. With half a box and no speed tuning. Can't wait to actually have a real box and figure out where this is going to go. Alright, so what I have not yet figured out is what's the best open. I feel like Shizuka's really weak to opponents pivoting into CC, just like that, right? Because then you get forced to run the Vertihile. But let's see if he brings Reset or not. Be nice if Josephine was ruined. Although this is probably Swift. Or Swift Vio. It's probably Swift Vio, so the Josephine wouldn't do as much here. Could I bait him into a ban on the Veramos? No, I have too much other stuff that is... I have too much other stuff in there that is dangerous. I can't risk him banning the Vero here. I would have liked to have drafted Vero here, but I can't risk the ban. Yogun's making a comeback, man. That's the second time I've seen him today. Oh, bro, I'm so stoked about Ragoll. I really am. Alright. What's the ban here? Does he ban Shizuka? It's got to be Shizuka, Verd, Volantis, Ragoll. I mean, all five of these are pretty big threats to him, right? And I can probably survive as long as I don't get reset. He might ban the Juno, actually. No, he bans the Ragdoll. Yeah. I had no idea what he was going to ban there. Pippin! Thank you very much, bro. I appreciate it. So Nikki or Annabelle there, you're basically just banking on like multiple resistances, which are not going to happen. See, I told you, man, Volantis just never freaking cuts anymore. But at least he missed the strip on the Shizuka. Oh, that's big. That was really big. That was big too. That's what she said. Might actually be, yeah, that was enough. So Volantis is a core option for RTA. That's an interesting question. Here's the thing with Volantis. He still has a pretty good win rate in RTA, but post-nerf, the combination of his nerf, which was... So, okay, first of all, I really believe that Volantis was bugged, and I benefited from that bug, but I also said it at the time. I thought he was bugged in that I believe Volantis used to trigger, kind of like, you know how they were saying, like, Despair could trigger on multiple hits, and they changed that? I think Volantis used to have the ability to trigger on multiple hits, which made his revenge cut a lot more consistent. When they nerfed him, they only reduced his revenge 10%, but it feels like they were... like it's so much less. It feels so much less. Then you take that and you combine it with the fact that Moore and Robo absorb more attack bar than Volantis gains, and that Juno absolutely obliterates Volantis, and he became a lot harder for me to use. Now there are some turn 1 players that use Volantis pretty effectively still. Keep in mind the Juno and the Volantis. The Volantis, this is actually the normal build I run him in with one exception. I did change this rune, and it probably will stay off of him. So this would be the normal. This is the Volantis build I used to use, but I like this rune more on Sonya, and I expect to draft Sonya a lot more. So this Volantis build will not change most likely, but the Juno build will definitely change and get a lot better. This is not a great Juno build. This is just randomly thrown on runes. But the Volantis build is probably where it should be. But yeah, bottom line is, I do think you can play a core around Volantis. I do think you can play a core around Volantis, but you need to be able to deal with Juno Josephine. And Juno in particular, because she's in practically every match, you really have to figure out how to deal with the Juno Josephine. As long as you do that, as long as you have a way to deal with Juno Josephine, then Volantis is going to be solid for you. Next most wanted, Tian Lang. Definitely Tian Lang. Ragdoll Tian Lang. Actually, I mean, so it's hard because Tian Lang would just be amazing for RTA, but Dumon and Kiki are so much fun. But it would be one of those three. Ragdoll, Dumon, Saimai also. Probably the thing is Volantis doesn't really synergize with Josephine. You can pull off Volantis with Juno. It's not great synergy because then it's really hard to pull off a full CC comp. Dude stole my Ragdoll. That's not good. I'm pretty sure I lose this. I don't really see any way that I don't lose this, actually. But let's try this. Just don't think I actually have enough runed. I mean, Ragdoll Gianna is something I've struggled with always anyway, but I don't really think I have enough runed to deal with this. Molly Jaeger. What's the biggest threat here? I actually don't... I mean, Jaeger is a huge threat, and I could be punished if I don't go into him first, but I think it has to be either Ragdoll or Gianna. And I want to get the Ragdoll off the field because I have so much cycling for him, but I think I have to get the Gianna off the field. So I might actually have to go Gianna, Jaeger, Ragdoll. I think that's the play. Yeah, I lose. Nothing to do but let him stun me. I really could have used a kill there. Yeah, trust me, Rag Molly is fine. I'm sorry, his draft is strong. His draft is really strong. Molly doesn't really do anything except provide sustain. I mean, Molly was MVP here, honestly. Like, the Molly procs and keeping the Gianna alive was his MVP, so there was nothing wrong with his draft here. He got plenty of cycling. How do you fight that normally? You would outspeed it. You would I mean, because he opened with the Shizuka, so that's already tough, because Shizuka would be a big counter to that. But generally you would outspeed it, or you could run some sort of snipe. I have no damage ruined at all, so I have no Dominic, I have no Molong, I have nothing that can do damage. That's a pretty big issue. That's why I say, like, playing with half a box is a real problem. Because if you could snipe something out there, then that team falls apart. But you just, I can't. I don't have anything ruined that can snipe. Let's see here. Do that. And then I need some sort of cleanse, so we'll do that. Nessa, yeah. There you go. But again, with the caveat, keep in mind, nothing here is actually properly runed at all yet. This is literally just runes slapped on. First rule of Summoner's War is always ban Oliver. I really don't like giving him this Tessa, but the first rule of Summoner's War is always ban Oliver. No stipend, I'm planning to re-rune this week. I don't think the BP will change that much on a Ragdoll box, because most BP stuff is really just having more to do with turn 1. It's pretty rare that they do anything on the turn 2 side of things that's impactful. Thank you, Grin. Thank you. I appreciate it. Did I really just land nothing? Nice. That's awesome. But at least he procs, so that balances it out. I love it. Always fun to get procced out. I do have a fire pudding, but I don't think she's actually that good personally. Both from testing her out and from like both in tests that I've done with her and in fights I've done against her, she doesn't really seem to do much. Yeah. I think I lose now. Yep. Nice proc. That took away my one and only chance to win. Alright, well. Lucksack is Lucksack. I know I got a proc on the kill, but it didn't really balance out there. Jukester, I appreciate it. Yeah, no, we were actually losing from the start. You have to watch how many attacks remain as well. We got off to a rough start. We stabilized, but we got off to a rough start, so we fell behind on the start. But yeah, opening up with one tower with 5 defenses was fun. You know this is like just such a dangerous open. Yeah, it was basically 5 different rune configurations. One of them was two of the defenses were kind of similar, but for the most part it was 5 configurations. Is there anything I can actually draft here that does damage? Not really. If I do this, okay. Well, for PvE, Zerath was, I mean, perfect AI in GB12. I don't know that he does enough for Abyss anymore, but you can still use him for any of the dungeons that you're running 10s on. Like you could use him for Punishers. Still use him for Punishers. Rakuni is far better than Molly, I agree. But to be fair, Tetra is better than Molly most of the time as well. Man, he got so much damage out so quick. Yeah, I don't see how I can win this. Miles is too much damage. This is why I wasn't planning to do wings, guys, and then a bunch of people asked me to do wings, but I just don't actually have anything runed. Yeah, we're ranked 2400, so it's G1, but I mean this is more the fact that I literally don't like the standard counter to a Shizuka Open is Miles, but Miles isn't runed. So it makes it really challenging. I don't have speed leads ruined, so we're just literally drafting with half a box right now. Not even half, like a third of a box. What up, Porch? How you doing, man? I think you can see things are pretty good, man. So David, yeah, there's a lot of different ways that you can use Zerath. There is obviously the PvE application. He's also really strong on siege and arena defense. There's a really cool Zerath comp that I was seeing in RTA. I don't remember the full comp, but if you search the replays, this is interesting here. So let's do... See, I don't have Praha ruined because Praha would be really good here. Yeah, I don't... the thing is, every time... So here's the thing. Every time a support unit rises to the top, people call for the nerfs. There have to be support units, guys. Like, if there's no support units, then you're just saying the game should only be turn 1 and turn 2 players should not be allowed to exist. Rakuni is perfectly fine in my eyes. In my eyes. Like, people wanted Wusa nerfed and he got nerfed. Then people wanted Riley nerfed and she got nerfed. And then people, you know, whatever support, people wanted Lulu nerfed. Whatever support gets drafted the most, people just call for nerfs on it. But that's, there always has to be one support that gets drafted. Like, there has to be one, you know, like, there can't be turn 2 without supports. See, this is a speed tuning issue. Like, Croc had really needed to be in front of the Annabelle right there. That puts me in a really bad spot. Yeah. So not having Kraka in front of the Anavet. No, Molly's trash, man. Molly was trash before she got nerfed, honestly. Molly has been wrecked so hard. I don't see any. There's no way I can win this. Yeah, without the proper speed tuning there. So that, again, going back to we're just not using a full box. So I think we're going to stop doing wings. I did some wings because people asked, but that was not really the goal of this stream. I need actually a box in order to do wings, guys. I really do need a box. But yeah, Molly was... So here's the thing, guys. Molly got used a lot in Siege out of desperation because there was nothing else to use. She hasn't been good on Siege defense in a year or two, but she just got used because there was nothing else to use. The last nerf basically completely knocked her out of Siege because now you can just OBB her, you can just Battle Angels her, you can Cassandra her, like... there's absolutely no value in a Molly on defense anymore. So she was never any good on Siege offense because she's RNG based. So the last nerf eliminated her completely from Siege. And from an RTA perspective, she already was she was not as good as Rakuni. She was not as good as Riley. She was debatably better than Wusa because anything that heals off a passive is going to be better. But I mean, she was at best the third or fourth best support in RTA before the nerf, and that's really being generous. Like Abellio was better than Molly, Rakuni was better than Molly, Riley was better than Molly, Aaliyah was better than Molly. So she was at best the fifth support, and I'm sure I'm forgetting others. So yeah, I mean the last nerf just knocked Molly completely out of relevance. Alright, so let's go back to picking a box. No, the last nerf made... So actually, guys, the last nerf made Ongyuki mostly crap, but I am planning to build an arena offense, which you'll see on the next rush I do. Right now, the only arena inner server rushes are going to be... only inner server rushes are going to be my rush streams, but I am going to do this offense. I've been meaning to do this forever. And now that I'm not using Ongyuki for anything else, I can just throw him on a Fatal set and then put him into this offense, and it's a pretty cool offense. I'd been meaning to build that forever, but it was always tougher because I had Ongyuki like actually on a Siege defense, and now he's so trash on Siege defense. Like if you put him on a Siege defense, half the time it can be two-manned. So for this, it would just be, Einhari would be triple fight. I don't know. I don't know if I can build this. Yeah, it does, but it doesn't matter. I know we're going off topic, but let me see if I can build this real quick, just to show you guys. Let me check the speed tuning. I gotta check the speed tuning against the Tiana, and then I can show you what the offense looks like. So let me move this over here. Celia is amazing for Siege defense. You put speed lead Celia X and she's really dangerous on Siege defense. Because of that crazy high base speed, people can't really cleave it. So something like Carcano, Celia X, but there's other speed leads that can be used with Celia as well. Basically, it's just speed lead Celia X is really scary on Siege defense. Okay, so it's going to be Einhari Tiana. So if Tiana's at 320, but that's her slower build, so we're going to call her 323 for the faster. And then we would have Galleon and Ongyuki. So we need the Einhari acting behind Galleon in front. So Galleon Einhari has to be 270. Probably going to have to put him on Swift. With the 17 lead, that's a little bit tougher. Okay, we'll put him on Swift. I would have liked him on triple fight, but I don't think it really matters. So he can just be on some random leftover garbage Swift then, actually, which is not bad either. Bro, congrats on the 300 speed set. Hey, Trendy Man, that's gonna be fun for you. Watch the replays. Just look up some replays. It's amazing with Shizuka. So that's a huge key, is getting Shizuka into those drafts as well. Alright, so fastest fight rune is this one. That's already being used. What about this one? That's being used. Oh, that's perfect. That's defense. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so let's start from this base. Oh, we're gonna... A lot of these runes are in use. This might actually be trickier than I thought. Let's see, what is this speed? Oh no, this is fine. This is 280. This is perfectly fine. So I can tune this build a little bit for better stats. So we can drop 6 crit rate. It is so nice to have freaking fight gems and grinds now too. Like, I know some people were unhappy about the change, but man, I really love having grinds for these runes. It's so nice. Okay, so that's fine. Aw, that sucks, Benjamin. I thought the last update was good. I know not everybody did. I did, personally. I actually really liked the last update. I was positive on the last update before I actually pulled, before I pulled Ragoll. Alright, so 270 is plus 174. This is 172, so that's fine. Yep, that works. Nope, that doesn't quite work. We're a little short. One more. This works. There we go. We have too much crit rate again though, right? 7 too much. Alright, so I can gem crit rate off of this or this. Let's gem it off of this and give him... I don't know. Nothing? Let's give him nothing? Alright, we'll gem it off of this. That's fine. Yeah, I am positive that that calculation is incorrect. 100% positive that calculation is incorrect. I can't tell you exactly what the number is because I didn't run it, but just on the basic math, they dropped 5 sets. Yeah, no, with the number of they added 5 sets on drops, but they dropped 17 sets worth of gems. So there's absolutely no way that number is correct. There's really not much I can put here, is there? I mean, even if the rate of gems... Okay, so let's say the rate of gems was 0%. Forget the rate of gems. We went from 17 to 22 possible drops. So literally the increase, even if you take out the gems whatsoever, we only increased the number of possible drops by 30%. So there's no way that it can take more than twice as many runs to offset a 30% increase. Like, it just does not work. 100%, that math does not work. Plus, I think Comtoa said that they dropped the mana, they reduced the mana rate of drops and the gems as well. But even without any of that stuff, if you increase the number of possibilities by 30%, you don't increase the farming rate by more than double. All right, let's just run a quick calculation for Ongyuki at 263. Thank you, Ed. I appreciate it, bro. Okay, Fatal Shield or Fatal Revenge? 250. Technically, the number I need here is 263 not to get cut. I don't think I really need that number, but let's just see. So we can get 3,300 attack there. If we go 263, we're at 3,192. That's fine. Fatal Nem. Oh, you know what? We take our own damage, right? So what if I do a little bit lower number on Nemesis? Because then I would proc my own Nemesis, right? So I could do a lower number. Yeah, here we go. So 3304 at 252. No accuracy though. All right, let's just run him like this. Okay, 3304, all this wasted crit rate and stuff though. Can we like not waste all that crit rate? Then I'm at 3169 again. 3023. I guess there's no way around it. We just have to waste the crit rate. Okay, that's fine. Doesn't matter. I understand it's slightly multiplicative, but it doesn't work. That doesn't work in my mind, but that's also, even if that number was right, which I still disagree with that number, but I haven't done the math. That's saying like one specific grind, but the reality is you should be just farming, and so you should have, you know, it's not about getting one specific grind, it's about getting all of the grinds, because you're not only grinding one rune, you're grinding a lot of runes. The idea of like farming for one specific grind would indicate that you farm one rune and then you farm one grind for that one rune. Let's drop that. Alright, I'm spending way too much time on this Ongyuki build. This was just supposed to be a demo. So let's just do the proper build at 263 so it's tuned, or we can go 260. 3192, 3243 Fatal Shield. That's it. Okay. This looks totally fine. 3240. Yeah, this looks totally fine. Let's just... Oh, yeah, he's not out. One of the hardest things, honestly, and it took me a long time to accept this, one of the hardest things about Summoner's War is mentally blocking out any individual set of 10 runs or mentally blocking out any general farming-based RNG. So the old expression is Summoner's War is a marathon, not a sprint. But it's so true, because you don't just play with one rune, and you don't just play with one monster. And if you're trying to, then you're never going to progress. So having one set of just look at my summon luck, man. I pulled Sylvia and Ragoll in the last 2 weeks, and I know I have a lot of LD5s, but 2.5 weeks ago, I was on stream saying I have lots of LD5s, but I don't like any of them except Julienne. And then in 2 weeks, I pulled 2 amazing monsters. Like, it swings around, but it's just a game. And yeah, so I'm being positive because there's a stream about me pulling Ragdoll, right? But I was also positive after the update. I did a whole video talking about this, even before I pulled Sylvia and Ragdoll, so I'm not being hypocritical here. But it's very true. Like, it's just... If you play a farming-based game that's intended to take years to progress, and then you get everything that you want in a couple of weeks, then why would you keep playing the game after a month? Like, but it's frustrating waiting. You know, it is absolutely frustrating waiting, and I get that part. So that's why I say the hardest part is, like, I don't even look. I legitimately do not even look when I have... I can run R5. You guys have seen me do it on stream. I'll run R5 all day long, and I don't even look at the grinds. There's legend in there, and I don't even look, because then I'm just going to frustrate myself. And what's it matter? So I'll farm R5 for 5 days, and then after I've done a couple thousand runs, I go into my inventory and I see what I can gem and grind. And that is so much better for my mental sanity. Oh, you know what? The one thing I didn't check before I apply this build, let me just check Swift. Because at this speed, we may get a better build on Swift. Oh, yeah. I should have checked Swift in the first place. Okay. 3292. Oh, yeah, that's a much better build. Okay, I should have checked that in the first place, yeah. Alright, so we're going to come over here. We're going to take Swift 6, attack. This one's easy. It's this one. That's this one. That is this one. You guys want to see something weird? For whatever reason, Revenge. Look at this rune. This is number 8. 34%, not even max grinded. 34, 35, 35, 38. 38, 43, and then 46%. For whatever reason, revenge runes on my account are just insane. That's the only one I have that really looks like that. Just revenge slot 1, just that. Okay, 24 speed. Oh, I put this on Anhari, didn't I? Oh, but I took it back off, right? 24 speed, 21 HP, 7 and 6. Oh, that's because I'm on revenge. Crap. Okay. Oh, nope. We took it back off. Okay, so that's good. And then Swift 2 attack. And that's this one. Okay. That's a rip. I'm up here bloviating about the gems and grinds you should have, and then I don't have the gems and grinds I should have. JJ, I don't want this to seem like I'm trying to be like mine is bigger or anything, but mine is bigger. Tell me this doesn't make you a little sad. Just tell me this doesn't make you a little sad. Just saying. Yeah, but it's Swift, bro. It's Swift. It is so useless because it's Swift. It literally just sits as a broken set rune on a Skogul. Alright, we needed 263. We're at 260. Okay, so we just throw some legend stuff on then. That was unexpectedly nice. Ragoll definitely does not suck. Wojo! Becoming a conquering supporter. Wojo! Thank you very much, bro. Seriously appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Welcome back to YouTube. Welcome back on YouTube now also. Is this 17% better than this 8? I actually think it is. Okay. So there we go. We get 32% attack up. We got 2608. Alright, so I can show you guys the team now. That was like a way big detour from doing RTA, but you know. Who's missing? Oh, Tiana. Okay. S2 crit damage. I have a really nice Tiana one here. Oh, it's on the other Tiana. That's why. Yeah, that's one of my... You know what? I never really thought about it, though. Should this be converted into something better than what it is? Like a first attack crit damage here would be awesome. Which one do I take? Which one? Which one? I don't know. It's a tough choice. Pointless for Tiana, nice for the artifact. Oh! But she hits when they're lower. That's still better than the HP was, but... I love that they cap the cost now. The cost does add up pretty quick. Like, I've gone through probably 30 million mana on conversions, and they screwed it up on the inception. Like, they made it way too expensive on the inception. But the fact that you can actually go basically unlimited now is pretty awesome. Because before the cost would just get beyond anything imaginable, like when it was 400 or 500 stones, it was insane. That's what we need. Okay, CD is less. That's perfect. And then this one's fine. Okay. Yeah, I've been steadily improving my artifacts without doing any farming whatsoever. There you go, 70k from Ongi post nerf, man. Post nerf, he actually can still do something. Who knew? I don't think I outspeed that, but I'm in fighter. Maybe I do. That's why I keep the Tiana on Will. It's slightly slower build, just for those Triton derps when I get greedy like that. Alright, so are we going to proc the Abellio? Nope. Okay, perfect. What up, Braden? How you doing, man? Heydong, GPY, they outplayed us, man. They outplayed us. Hats off to them. They came in really well prepared, and they did an awesome job. Like, hats off to them. We got off to a bad start. We stabilized, but we got off to a really bad start. We were down like 9 losses on the open, which is insane. They had a really good 5-star defense. It took us a minute to it took us a minute to just crack the defense, and we just got off to a bad start, man. They moved a little bit slower on the start, and because they moved slower on the start, or because they had a better defense, or both, again, not, you know, like, hats off to them. We just got down by too much. In the end, we were only down by a few losses. We did recover, but we had lost too much on the open. But they came in really well prepared. They were really crazy high win rate. They did a great job. And so, you know, I said this all stream long, like, losing sucks, man. Losing sucks, especially after we've been so close the last few seasons, but I cannot complain when somebody just wins clean like that, you know? There was no RNG, there's nothing to be like, it's just clean win. Will they give it Mally any trouble? I don't know. I think Mally is the favorite, which doesn't mean I don't know. So here's the weird thing. The weird thing is that we never faced Mally all season long. Like, just the way the matchups were. We were 1-2. We might have faced them one time. I think we might have faced them one time, but maybe 2. I don't know. I don't really remember. Mally has a really strong roster this season. GPY is going to be fighting at a massive disadvantage when it comes to both runes and box. So the disadvantage of runes and box, and then Mally has a great macro. Mally is Mally. There's a reason they're consistently legend, right? So Mally's going to have a great macro. They're going to have a huge advantage when it comes to runes and box. But I think we have great macro, and we had a huge advantage when it comes to runes and box. So I am certainly going to say anything's possible, but I think based on history, Mally has consistently won tournament finals, and they have one of their strongest rosters ever this season. So based on history, I think Mally would be the favorite, but I think GPY definitely has a chance. I wouldn't count them out. I have no idea who my money is on, because we faced GPY a lot this season and we never faced Mally, so I really can't compare the two. Now I'm talking malicious, bro. Malicious. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly have no idea, but I know that GPY kicked our ass, which sucks to say, but It's true. You know, credit where it's due. Anyway, that's the team, guys. That's the team. I'd been meaning to build that team forever. And you saw, I mean, it's basically, I won't say it's leftover runes, but it's pretty much leftover runes. I didn't take a rune off any monster, so it's a nice way to get some use out of Ongyuki. It will have its limitations. It's only a 19 speed lead. Bro, I don't take luck sacks well. I tilt, I rage, I am a sore loser when it comes to a luck sack. But if it's not a luck sack, then all you can do is tip your hat, and that was a crappy proc for me. Can I just... Oh, I misclicked. Okay, it didn't matter. Yeah, but... John, I'm going back to RTA in just a moment. But yeah, like I said, if it's not a luck sack, man, I mean, it's just... It is what it is. You gotta tip your hat to them and learn from it. I definitely learned a few things this siege. Paid attention to macro for the first time ever, because I was never a macro guy. So... you just tip your hat and learn from it. That's all you can do. All right, so let's see, 8:30. I'm gonna go back to pulling out the RTA box a little bit. I don't think actually, I got sidetracked a couple of times with doing the wings in the arena. I'll be honest, I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to finish this on this stream. If you guys find this interesting content, we might finish it Friday. If not, I'll just show you the final roadmap, either way. Macro is the strategy that you use when deciding which bases to take in what order and what time and which bases to trim. So when you see siege going on and you see siege people, when you see like guilds attacking each other, they actually are attacking each other with a chess strategy. If I take this, then they can take that. And if I don't take this and if I trim this, then I can take it at a certain time to give myself a point advantage. In the regular season, macro does not really make that much of a difference because it's a 3v3. It makes some, but it's nowhere near as important. Macro in the regular season is more about making sure you don't burn all your attacks and just get cut and finish with 0 points. Macro in siege tourney is a lot more strategic and a lot more involved. Alright, I don't see any reason I would ever use a Ragoll, Blution, or Susano. I know people will use those sometimes, but Ragoll and Susano are too RNG based, and Blution just doesn't make any difference in a reset meta. Tetra... I already have Vero and Rakuni. I don't think I'll use a Tetra. The use cases for Tetra are a little too niche to justify the runes you have to keep on her. Unless you put her on Swift, but I don't love a Swift Tetra, and I don't like putting like a 280 Vio set on Tetra and taking that away from other monsters. This chick is absolutely cracked in Special League now. She was so annoying. Even though I messed around in Special League, like I didn't have a real team, she was still really annoying. She's like a force. She's like the Oliver of Special League, man. She really is like the Oliver of Special League. This thing is actually pretty interesting. Could this work with a Ragdoll? Could this be like any kind of... The thing is, what's going to counter Ragdoll? I'm going to see a lot of Juno. Once I move into Guardian, I'll see a lot of Gianna. I don't think this does anything against Juno or Gianna. Yeah, I would actually like to test this thing out, but I don't see a lot of use. Fire damage dealers. I mean, if I'm going to run a fire damage dealer, I probably should just use Masha. I think Masha still makes more sense. These are... I really would like to test these out, but if I test them out, what I need to do is build my box first. and test them after. Fire Puppeteer too, kind of interesting. Yeah, Fire Monkey as well, absolutely. Carnell I might put back in my box this season. It's always hard to find a spot to draft Carnell. He is so good, but historically he hasn't fit as well for me. With Ragoll now, he may. Could you run Hollyberry Cookie with Ragdoll? No, it would be too YOLO, because then if they ban the Ragdoll, you're just stuck with like Hollyberry Cookie. The 90 or the 101 base, like the low base speed, makes her really hard to use. And then the pure vanilla cookie, I just don't believe she actually does anything. I've tested her a few times on my account and others. When she works, she looks cool, but the win rate is super low, and it's super low for a reason. Nora's just not very good in RTA. Honestly, nothing has ever worked for me against Oliver, man. My win rate against Oliver all time is like, it's just stupid low. I cannot counter him. I try Gyu's, I just get tested. I tried Carnell's, Oliver just resets him. Like, it helps probably when you're already playing turn 1 and you have Gianna. So then the Carnell and the Gyu probably fit better. But it's never worked for me. I've tried both, and I've tried both extensively. Like using SW Arena data, I can say neither of them has just really ever worked for me. I still think Reek is an amazing RTA monster, but I also think that I face Juno basically every match and I can't ever draft her. I would love to keep runes on her. I really would, but I just don't see that I ever get to use her. Fire Cassandra definitely would be a better damage dealer than some of the others we're looking at. Probably not as good as Fire Monkey, but she deserves consideration. Let's see. Fire Robo was fun in Special League. He wouldn't do enough in RTA. Get into the 4 stars. Of course, we need a Vertihile. I feel like I missed Haygang. Vertihile reminds me of Haygang. Let's put this here before I forget. I mean, if they draft Raccoony Juno, why can't you draft Josephine? Or if they draft Josephine, bring Bulwark. Annabelle. I missed Annabelle too. I should go back through. I missed Molong. I missed a lot of water. What the hell, man? Alright, let me come back through here. We're not going to use that. Not going to use the Puppeteer. I really would like to use Amber. I think Amber is super underrated. And she's rated pretty well. Might need to try and figure out if I can use Amber. Amber would work nicely with the Volantis. Doesn't do much with Ragdoll, though. She doesn't do much with my core comps. I actually think Juno can fit with Gianna, but I was saying Josephine. Josephine would definitely fit. I see a lot of turn 1 CC players draft Josephine in CC competitions, and she's a difference maker. I would go speed HP because she's like a mile. She does damage off her passive, man. Okay, not having Josie or Bulwark, that makes it tough. The thing with the water puppet, I did test her quite a bit. I just find that Sonya, like in terms of swift threats, I would rank her like number 5. So I think it probably goes, Sonya is number 1 by a mile. Tesha is number 2, also by a mile. And then Sekhmet, Ethna, Water Puppeteer, probably the next down that list. Then you also, I mean, you can throw in like Triton, Wounsa, Escher. But I think those are all like maybe a little step down, unless they synergize better with certain teams. But I think they're a little step down, especially for a team like I play. Could Shihu make sense? Probably not. Yeah, I would skip the Shihu. Varad could make sense, but I've already got way too many monsters. I haven't even hit wind yet, so I know those monsters won't make the cut. I do think the fire puppeteer is good. Sorry, the water puppeteer, excuse me. I do think the water puppeteer is good. I really like Sonya and Teshar a lot more. Yeah, Teor is a pain, man. I've seen Teor a lot over the last couple seasons. He's like a better Poseidon. He used to be considered a worse Poseidon. Now I think he's a better Poseidon. The way the meta's shifted around and with Oliver locking you down. Okay, I got them all along. I still didn't get Hay. Oh, I did get Haygang. Okay. Alright, let's run through fire one more time. Yeah, but in those cases, because the thing is with the water puppet, right? You're gambling that they're not on will, because most of the time I'm not playing CC units. So I mean, obviously, because you're playing on a Gianna core, the water puppet lets you boost Gianna up if they're on will, or another CC unit if they ban the Gianna, or it lets you freeze if they're off will. But because I'm generally not playing with those same types of CC units, it just doesn't do much for me. Whereas Sonya can just kill something instantly, and then that's free. Or you get the stun from the Teshar. Because you can get strip into, and then if they're off will, you get Teshar doing like a strip into multiple stuns. Yeah, exactly. So Water Puppet definitely has her use. I still suspect that you would find Teshar better. I think Teshar is... honestly, I put Sonya above Teshar, but Sonya is really hard to rune too. I actually think Teshar is probably the best overall unit. Yeah, any kind of general CC team, Zybala is really good. Zybala is really good in just like straight CC teams. Doesn't nearly fit as much because I'm playing a bruiser team with like speed pivots. I'm not going to be... A CC team really needs to be committed to as a CC team early, unless you catch your opponent pivoting in the middle. Yeah, Zachary, artifacts change things a lot. So because you can get crit damage through artifacts and you get additional damage through artifacts, what it is now, you see... I mean, not everything is on crit rate. There are some monsters that'll go crit damage. For example, I have the Ragoll on crit damage. But look at the difference in stats here. And this is not an optimized Ragoll. I'll get more stats on him later when I optimize him. But look at the difference in stats. He's slow. He doesn't have a lot of HP. Now look at the Teshar. Teshar is like basically the same HP, but 100 more speed. Granted, that's Swift, so that's not a fair comparison. But I have like Abellio's on crit damage because he takes turns by himself. Julian's on crit damage because he doesn't need any other stats. I don't have enough rune really to make great comparisons here. Is my Sylvia on crit rate right now? What do I have on a crit rate build? Can't remember. Well, duh, just look at my crit rate runes. Obvious. Thank you, Yada. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, yeah, here you go. Let's look at the Cichlid. So now compare this Cichlid to the Ragoll. I don't have crit damage, but I have way more speed, I have way more stats, I have way more everything, and then I just get some crit damage off the artifact. So the crit rate rune enables you to get more out of your other runes, and then you get crit damage off the artifacts, basically. The other thing is, crit damage just multiplies attack, so if you're getting more attack, then you don't need as much crit damage either. Have I tried Water Ivor? Not as much as I want to. Not as much as I want to. I got him from a random scroll. I generally never saved summons, but Ragoll was my most wanted. I got pretty much everything I needed. Legitimately, I pulled Sylvia, Ragoll, and I pulled Amber in the last couple of weeks. So for the first time ever, I am actually starting to save a few scrolls. I might have a day of weakness, who knows? But as it stands right now, I don't think that I will summon again until new monsters come out. The premium stuff I will. Like, I wouldn't wait to summon LDs, because why? In my mind, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. So if I'm going to get the LD, I may as well get it sooner. But as far as the rest of it goes, like mystical scrolls, regular scrolls, not Celia, Sylvia. I pulled Sylvia. Hey, congrats on the Amber and Sonia, Zachary. Sylvia I don't use in RTA. Sonia I do. Wojo, huge grats to Alex. I think I tested all 3 Indras on stream. The water one I actually think is legitimately good right now and will most likely use in my RTA box. I also want to explore it for siege offense and maybe siege defense, but it's a little harder to... It's like a better Tyrannus. So I think it's going to be a little hard to use on siege defense, and I haven't explored the AI yet, but RTA for sure, siege offense maybe. It's a lot of fun. I genuinely had a lot of fun testing this thing. The wind one is absolutely terrible, and the fire one is just a generic nuker that doesn't do enough. Like, the fire one is probably B tier. The wind one is probably D tier, if not F. But the water one is probably an S tier unit, give or take. Maybe SS, maybe A+. We'll have to see like when people start to use it more, but the water one's really good. Okay, so I keep getting pulled away. I do have a hard stop at 9 tonight, guys. Tomorrow is my wife's birthday, and I've got a few things to prepare. I want to, at midnight, I want to give her a cake and, do the happy birthday stuff. So I've only got about 20 minutes left today. I'd like to try and pull out the rest of the box, and then maybe just show you guys a little bit about how I'll prep in the roadmap, and then on Friday's stream I'll show you the final roadmap. So I know I did fire. Let me cycle through fire one more time here. This guy, I really feel like he has potential. I really do feel like he has a lot of potential. He hits pretty hard. I don't know. I just don't see where I'm going to be able to get him into the box. I'm already going to have Carlos, Masha, Fire Cassandra. Look, I mean, I don't see how I would fit him into the box. And I know I've already got too many monsters. And I haven't even done wind yet. So yeah, there's no way. There's no way. It's just too many monsters. Coco's fun. Coco's fun, but it's the same thing. Just not going to have room for her. Tessa, okay, I've got a Tessa out already. Leica, I'm not a huge fan of. He's just hoping to win by RNG. If you're going to do that, draft Antares, he's better. Antares or Douglas, either way. Thoughts on Akroma? I wish Akroma had a higher base HP. I think Akroma is still a really viable monster at times, and they keep buffing her. I don't have her, and I think Akroma owners may disagree with me, but I don't feel like Akroma is that far away. She's the only monster in the game that does what she does, and that makes her good, but by the same argument, Van Cleef is the only monster in the game that does what he does, and he's terrible. So I guess I'm a little hypocritical there, but I think what Akroma does is really useful. Akroma has 2 major issues. One is her base HP is too low, and 2 is that there's no monsters that support her well enough to not just make her straight up force ban when she could win you a match. We don't want other monsters to do exactly what she does, but we do want other monsters to do something well that supports her so that she can be part of a more cohesive team. So I think Akroma's 2 major issues are that she's on an island in terms of what she does, and her base HP is too low to let her do it all alone. I think if they brought in a new monster that synergized with her a little bit and they gave her a boost to her base HP, then I think a Chroma would be really amazing. So I think she's already useful for some siege offense stuff. And I think she's close. Like, I know she's not spammable. I know she's not super viable, but I think she's close. Dark Asura I don't have. Somebody told me he's like a better pre-buff, pre-nerf Gurkha, but I don't have him. I think his kit looks interesting, but without having ever used him, seen him, fought against him, usually you can get a feeling against a monster when you're fighting against them too, but I've got no experience with him. Dark Ezio is amazing, bro. Dark Ezio anti-kinky? Or Ezio? Oh, I'm thinking of Dark Ivor. Sorry. Dark Ezio is garbage. I don't know. I'm saying he's garbage. I don't know if he's actually garbage. But I think I summoned 5 Dark Ezios and 10 scrolls, and so I hope that I think if he's actually any good, then I'm in good shape because I've got 5 Dark Ezios. But he doesn't seem that good to me, honestly. Like, I tried to think about him for siege defense the other day, and I think if he had some way to keep him alive, he would be really good on siege defense. But there is just no way to keep him alive. He needs some sort of passive damage reduction. Because, I mean, 9,300 base HP, like, what are you ever going to do with this guy? So, yeah, he has and by the way, the attack that cannot be counterattacked, his main attack can still be attacked, can still be countered. So he's not anti-kinky, and you really don't need anti-kinky because everything is anti-kinky these days. The main thing about him is, oh wait a second, they fully changed his passive. I might just be like talking out of my ass here. Let me see here. Huh, okay, additional damage lends to critical hit. Okay, so he is anti-kinky. I take that part back completely. But he's still too squishy, man. He's too squishy. Alright, John. Yeah, I mean, I get it. You're here to troll, bro, but let's keep it to a minimum. You're more than welcome to criticize, but just don't spam the criticisms. Like, I'm not going to censor somebody for coming into chat and talking a little bit of shit, but we don't need you to spam the chat with it. Alright, yeah, man, I would have to test him. I feel like he's a little too squish because you're not going to get like a straight nuke off of him. Yeah, I think he's just too squish, man. What do I think about Bella? I mean, Bobo made Bella look amazing, right? I've always struggled against Bella. I think Bella shines now. Like, Bella didn't even get a buff, man. It was just artifacts. Artifacts made Bella OP. No worries, John. No worries, man. That's true, Colin. But no, I think Bella is legitimately good, man. I've fought her a lot in RTA. She's tricky because she's another one that has kind of a low base HP, so you have to put her in like a full protect the X offense, right? But if you can get Bella drafted at the right time, she just dominates, man. She's really scary. Hard to use, though. Like, some monsters are harder to use than others. I think Bella is the type of monster that if I drafted her, it would take me a lot of practice and a lot of experimentation to use her well. To Albabo's credit for making her shine. Some monsters are easy. Some monsters are plug and play. Ragdoll is probably not going to be plug and play, as much as I always used to joke about it. I think Ragdoll's going to need a lot of experimentation until I figure out how to draft him really well. Other monster, but I mean, and Lima, honestly, like pre-nerf Lima was kind of plug and play. Kind of not, but post-nerf Lima is really complicated. But you take a monster like Ziana or Nikki, these monsters are pretty straightforward. Beelzebub also, all of these monsters are pretty straightforward. Like Ziana If you want to make her shine, you're going to play a bunch of strip CC stuff, and then you're going to draft Ziana. And it's pretty straightforward. Beelzebub, anti-cleave. You can use him for a little more than that as you get used to him, but basically if you pull Beelzebub, he's anti-cleave. You use him when the enemy has lots of AoE damage, so they can't avoid hitting him, and they don't have reset. So some monsters kind of plug and play, some are complicated. Bella's one of the ones I think is really complicated. Let's see, Laura, Parjana, and Dark Pudding Princess. So Laura's best use is as a storage guardian. Don't ever put runes on her. She's awful. Worst LD5 in the game. And I'm not just trolling there. I mean that with all my heart. I get tilted every time I see a Laura. It was like the worst moment in my Summoner's War history when I summoned her. And I'm able to be that harsh because you actually pulled a lot of other amazing OP stuff at the same time. And so because of that, I can talk really positively about the other stuff, right? Akroma is mostly going to be a 5th pick counter that you're going to use when the opponent is playing kind of like a not fully committed CC. If they play fully committed CC, then you're probably not going to be able to win with just Akroma because she's not going to be able to solo. It's too much damage going back to that low base HP. But I think if you get into like a 4 or 5 pick where the opponent is half committed to CC but not fully committed, and then you can drop like a Douglas Akroma combination, Akroma can really shine. Especially if you can get an Abellio in the field early on, or a Raccoon or a Ragdoll, something to keep her alive. Raccoon or Ragdoll? Abellio, Vertihile, Raccoon or Vertihile, so something to keep her alive or to keep her cycling, right? Parjanya, I think, is really good. Doesn't synergize with Dark Pudding Princess at all. Much more of kind of a turn 2 or turn 1.5 CC unit. Very weak to stuff like Raccoon and Juno, so you want to save him. The problem with pretty much all those picks is they all tend to be later picks. So you're going to kind of form your comp towards the end. Dark Pudding Princess, the low base speed makes her hard to draft early, but she's a really nice 5th pick to kind of round out a CC comp. Akroma, obviously a straight counter 5th pick or 4-5 pick. And then Parjana's going to be mostly like a 3 to 4 pick, I think. Like once the opponent has committed to going somewhat bruiser, but does not have Raccoon, Juno, Shizuka, or Wusa. I think those are kind of the conditions or the stipulations to use Parjani. Is like you bring him in the 3rd pick to kind of shape a draft the way you want, but you have to do it when the opponent does not have a lot of immunity and does not have Juno and Raccoon on the field, and preferably when you have another water damage unit that can deal with the Juno Raccoon in case they drop the 2 together on a 4-5. Yeah, exactly, Cyrus. I mean, I saw from my testing, I know kind of what I want to do with him. I really want to make him a 1st pick, but the response to him too often is Oliver, and I lost nearly every single match. When I dropped Ragdoll and they dropped Oliver, I basically lost every match. I feel like in the current RTA, it's nearly impossible. Even with Ragdoll, I think it's going to be nearly impossible to open without a speed lead unless you're opening on Shizuka and then you're backing the Shizuka up with a lot of heavy CC. And so that's kind of what I'm going to experiment with is Oliver open, which I don't really want to do, but at least then I don't have to face him. And then Vanessa open, Shizuka open, and then some more Ragdoll open. Once the box is built, those are the first 4 opens I'm going to be testing with. Pontos, I tried Pontos open last season, and it's just not good because you face too much Oracle, and Oracle counters too much of my box. So if I bring out Pontos and they come back with Juno Praha, it means my Lima is no longer pickable. It means my, honestly, my Nikki is not really pickable. I can't bring Shizuka. I can't bring Volantis. It basically, the Oracles counter like all of my LDs except for Ragdoll. They feed my Ragdoll now, obviously. And Ritsu is really good into Juno. But generally speaking, the Pontos Open is going to get responded to with a lot of Oracles, which closes off a lot of my box to me. So I want to try and find a better Open that will leave me some flexibility to pivot into a higher speed CC or Snipe team, but preferably allow me to go into a Ragdoll Bruiser team. Or even not Ragdoll. I don't have to spam Ragdoll every draft. having the power of having Ragdoll. Honestly, the single biggest power of having Ragdoll is knowing that I have him, which takes away some of the fear of the opponent playing hard CC because I have cut opportunities. So Ragdoll himself is not absolutely broken in every draft, and I'm fortunate that I have a deep enough box and deep enough runes that I'm not going to have to be a one-trick pony. What Ragdoll allows is for me to not be afraid of getting CC'd if I try and play like a turn 1.5 snipe team or something like that. Most wanted LD now. Most wanted would probably be Kiki, just because I think she's so much fun and so broken, and she'd be amazing for Siege. After that, it would be Dumon and Tian Lang. But Kiki, Dumon, Tian Lang, and Saimai. So the Tian Lang and Tian Lang would also be great for Siege defense. So Tian Lang for Siege defense, Kiki for everything, everywhere, because she's just amazing. Dumon for RTA and Siege offense, and then Saimai for RTA. Also, actually, Saimai is good on Siege offense. Okay, let's go through Wind here one time. We haven't gone through Wind. So do a quick double check on fire. I don't think I'll bring any more fire out simply because I've already got too many monsters, but let's make sure I didn't miss anything. I really would love to experiment with these, but what I'll do is I'll probably rune them after the box is built. They'll be on weaker builds, but because it'll be 50 rune sets in. But I'll rune them after the box is built and experiment with all 3 of these, and possibly even these 2. I mean, these all 5 of these are worth some experimentation. This one is not. This one, I just don't see her. She doesn't need a buff because she already hits really hard. She's a little generic. She needs a lateral. She needs some sort of additional utility. I guess technically that's a buff, but she doesn't need a big buff. She just needs a little utility. I hope they don't nerf Rakuni. If they nerf, I'd be fine if they gave Rakuni's kit to a Nat 5 or a 2A. Like, Rakuni's kit is necessary. It doesn't have to be with Rakuni. I get the argument that Rakuni is a 3-star, but I'll tell you the counter argument is Rakuni has 3-star stats. So if they gave Rakuni's kit to a 5-star, it would be even stronger. But Rakuni's kit is absolutely necessary to maintain some semblance of balance between turn 1 and turn 2. So if they do nerf Rakuni, then it needs to be that something else gets buffed with that same kit. Porch, I actually unsummoned 25 6-stars yesterday. Before the tourney round, I unsummoned 25 6-stars. So yeah, it would be really nice if they would increase storage size. By the way, for what it's worth, you can no longer unsummon 6-stars. So when I say I unsummon them, I'm lying. You actually cannot do that. I fed 25 6-stars to a 3-star. I think I have a screenshot of it in guild chat somewhere. What do I want to see in the upcoming balance patch? I mean, the same thing I always want to see. I want to see greater parity come between turn 2 and turn 1. I want to see Oliver completely eliminated from the game. I mean, like, I don't even want to just see Oliver nerfed. I want to see Oliver straight up nuked out of the game, refund everybody an Ancient Transcendent Scroll, and let's just put that dark time in Summoner's War history behind us. I'm not even kidding. I know it'll never happen. I know it can't happen. I know a lot of people would never like that, but man, Oliver, I just hate that unit so much. But honestly, I don't know that I have... The single biggest thing I want to see out of this next patch, like, apart from all of that, I want to see them do something with Siege, and I don't know that you can really fix Siege through balance patch at this point. So it's more like I want to see this as part of the Reloaded update. And I've said this before, I want to see them separate G3 Siege from everything else. And it's necessary in my opinion because people that are in lower G1 guilds and playing more casual, the changes that we need in more competitive high-level Siege would destroy low-level Siege. And if Com2Us continues to try and tailor things for lower Siege, it continues to destroy higher Siege. Dozens of tourney players are quitting after every season because Com2Us has been making changes, and as they should. Like 99% of the game is not in G3 Siege, so Com2Us should be making changes for 99% of the game, but it's destroying tourney level in G3 Siege in the process. And So I think we have to separate G3 Siege from G1 Siege and then start to implement, and I have a video on this that's going to be coming out soon, implement a whole bunch of changes that are targeted for G3 Siege and some other changes targeted for G1 Siege. So the G1 Siege would actually be an easing of conditions to bring more balance to people with smaller boxes and less rune depth. And the G3 Siege would be the opposite. It would be a tightening of conditions to make it more complicated and more challenging at the tourney level. Because, I mean, like right now, Redline in our guild was 95% win rate. So, like, if you didn't win 19 out of every 20 matches last season, you were Redline. You were not good enough. And that's a problem, man. And that's a result of nerfs to Manon, of nerfs to Molly, of nerfs to Kinky. It's a problem because all of these nerfs may be perceived as necessary at G1, but they destroy G3 Siege because it's becoming impossible to create any kind of defense that can win over a consistent period of time. Maybe for one day in a tourney, we had a bad day in the tourney against the defense that we hadn't seen before, but once you crack that defense, then it's cracked. What up, Patty Sore? How you doing, man? Long time no see. All right, we're not going to make it through the box, but I'm having fun. I'm having fun, man. This is what I missed when I was on Twitch. I actually missed the questions. I missed the conversation and the Q&A. So I apologize for not getting through the box today, guys, but I enjoyed myself on stream. Hopefully you guys did as well. Would I increase attack amount per player? No, so, hey, Dong, what we really need for G3 Siege, there's a few things. We need more special towers that give significant advantages to defense. We need one-on-one, so we need to get rid of all the 2v1ing and stuff. Like, in most sieges, when you go into it, you typically know if there's like one really strong guild that would just always win. The other two guilds have to make a choice. They either both go into the main guild and one of them's going to finish third, or they basically wind up 1v1ing each other for second and third. And either way, it's like a lose-lose condition, and then when a guild in G3 drops, takes a third place, they drop into G2, which is totally unfair for the people in G2. And just the whole 3-guild matchup, it's nothing like tournament. A lot of the macro strategy isn't there. And then in that situation with the 3 guilds, you have to attack more slowly, and you need those hour-long timers. So tourney-level players can sit there for 4, 6, 8 hours waiting to get their attacks in, having to watch the map the whole day, which is just too much time commitment and too exhausting for the regular season. So if you were to separate G3 Siege and make it all 1v1 sieges with 45-minute timers, and I say 45 because having talked to some macro guys, they think 30-minute timers would burn them out. But the hour timers is what burns out the people waiting to get their attacks in. So you balance it out, you make it 1v1 so there's more attacks to be done in a faster siege, in a one-day siege, with 45-minute timers. And then the matchups are more fair, the attacks are going to happen quicker, players are not going to burn out as much. And then you add in a bunch of special towers, like a bunch of special towers, like 20 or 25 special towers, some of them that you start with a variety of creative concepts. And that allows us to make defenses that are actually challenging to hit, and bring some of the win rates down from, we had a guy go 270-0 this season. I mean, like, straight up, a guy went 27 straight sieges without a loss. 290-0 if you include tourney. And that's just, it shouldn't happen. Like, it's gotten too easy. And it wasn't me. I didn't go 270-0, but still, nobody should be able to. So we need to separate G3 and lower siege so that we can make it more competitive at the G3 level without destroying the game and making it too time consuming for players in G1 siege, for example. And Patty, yeah, bro, I've been thinking about you. I've been thinking about you, baby. No, I've been thinking about, like, where's Patty been on the streams for a while, man. All right, so I'm like kind of rushing through fire here. I know I'm not going to get through this. I'll have to do this. I'll have to finish this up off stream. So what we're going to do is we're going to finish the stream just with a little bit of the roadmap process. I'll let you guys know I do have a video on this process. It's called RTA for Nerds, or that's the thumbnail, is RTA for Nerds. And this roadmap that I'm about to show you guys, it is actually available in my Discord server. You can download. It's in the video, the original video, it was a lot less evolved than it is now. It has a lot more in it now. But you can download the roadmap server from the Discord. You can download the roadmap spreadsheet from the Discord if you want to do your own boxes like this. So this is the roadmap, and what we're actually going to do here, we're going to start by typing in some of the monsters that we did pull out. So we're going to say Camilla, Praha, Annabelle, Wusa. Typed in Annabelle incorrectly. Now that one's more interesting, Wojo. As long as that doesn't apply to PvE. For the reasons I've mentioned before, and I understand I'm in the minority here, and that's okay. We don't all have to agree, but I feel like RNG is absolutely essential for PvE, and I think when you have stuff like Trikaru and perfect AI teams, it hurts the game in a lot of ways that people never see. But it takes away, it makes PvE, it makes farming more of a job than it needs to be. Farming can be fun if you think that you have a chance. I mean, I understand it's going to be boring 95% of the time, no matter what, right? It's a farming game, but we all signed up for a farming game. Most of us have played farming games all our lives. For me, starting with Final Fantasy VII, right? Or actually Final Fantasy II, but mostly in 7. But yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, it's like, at least if we still have some hope of like finding a new, better team, then it makes you think in the background, you watch your team and you're like, what if I change this? How can I like balance against this RNG? Like, it gives you a reason to keep thinking and experimenting. Once you have Trikaru, you're like, all right, that's it. I'm done. I'll just keep hitting the autoplay. So the concept of letting each Mon pick their first skill for Siege Arena defenses. I find that really intriguing. I honestly do. I feel like it's one of those things where you want to think it all the way through to get an idea of what impact and repercussions that may have on the game. But I find that really intriguing. That's an idea worth exploring, man. I like the idea. I really think that's an idea worth exploring. At a minimum... So the interesting thing is, Wojo, we actually test monsters to get an idea of their AI, because some monsters have better AI than others. One reason you didn't see Ciclet on defense for so long is because she has a bad AI. Yeah, Kyle, so that's why I say it's one of those things that you would want to think through all the way. Like, I don't know. I on stream, it's always a little bit harder for me to concentrate and think through something. I think the idea is worth exploring to a certain extent. Yeah, okay. So, man, see, now you just got me thinking, man. You just got me thinking. Yeah, I mean... There'd be so many balancing issues. I think... I don't think it could be implemented. Like, I don't think you could just say, we're going to do this, right? I think there's a lot of repercussions for that, some of which are being brought up in chat right now, and some of which we're probably not going to think of without testing it. So I don't think you could just say, let's run with this. But I feel like there's something there, as long as it's a limited amount of controlled AI. There's got to be, like, okay, so for one thing, for arena defense, I actually like the idea. I really like the idea for arena defense because losses don't count for as much there. So that even could be your testing ground. Like you bring in that idea on arena defense and then you tweak when you see the unintended consequences. For siege defense, it would be tough when you get to monsters like Cichlid. Triton's not as big of a deal, but a monster like Cichlid, it would get really tough because the only problem with that is like, okay, so how would you counter Cichlid in RTA, for example? You would bring in a higher base speed monster that can, reset it. Like Sekhmet has a 114 base to the Cichlid 110 base. So if I had to counter Cichlid in RTA, I would bring in Sekhmet to reset the Cichlid so the Cichlid couldn't reset and defense break me. But in siege offense, you can't do that because you have accuracy resistance check. So then that's a guaranteed 15% of the time that the Cichlid can basically just control the entire AI of the team. And I guess Cichlid gets resisted 15% as well. But it's like an 11% flat loss rate that's not defendable. So on the one hand, I want to make siege defenses more challenging, but I don't want to make them indefensible. A monster like Triton is less dangerous because it doesn't apply a defense break on the open, but then there are still, going back to the Triton example, there are still some issues that would come with the opponent being guaranteed first pick as well, especially if combined with the idea of special towers. So it's an interesting idea. I would probably like to see it brought into Arena as a testing ground. But okay, I do have to wrap up, guys. I am definitely late. So just to show you guys the spreadsheet, I mean, basically what I would do is I would put all the monsters in here. I'm actually missing a formula. This should fill out automatically. This spreadsheet's missing the formula that the roadmap has. Mankayo, I'm just going to ask you to read that statement and then tell me what other ways you could interpret it. But with that, yeah, so tonight's stream has to end a little bit early because tomorrow's Laura's birthday. I've actually got to be leaving the house in 6 minutes in order to get her cake and some stuff I need. But yeah, so you guys can see over here. Oh, can you not see it? What if I scroll over? If I scroll over, you can see it, right? So you guys can see on this part of the stream, once I start typing in the elements, it does this. And what I do is I type in all the monsters that I've picked. Then I compare the elements. I make sure it's balanced. And I'm going to be rushing through this too much. So I would say check out the video. If you're interested in this type of content, check out the video RTA for Nerds on my channel. And it does give a full walkthrough of how you do the spreadsheet. But guys, thank you for all the interaction and engagement, man. That's why I'm back from Twitch. I actually really enjoyed tonight's stream. Even though I got sidetracked a little bit, I really enjoyed tonight's stream. So I appreciate the interaction, guys. And hope everybody has a great night. I will catch you all on Friday when hopefully I'll have some semblance of an RTA box and we'll be starting to do real Ragdoll RTA. All right, guys. Have a great night.